Welcome back, dear watchers and listeners of the internet. We are back for the conclusion of tonight's session of Tales of Jemmora.
And I forgot to start the clock. Yeah.
The Kraken's Wake. So, before the break, we had a terrifying battle between several large dinosaur-like creatures that had all moss and vines and stuff on their back, which I totally forgot about for you. Yeah, because that should have made things a bit more difficult. But anyway, the party has dispatched them. However,
I think everyone was just stupefied as to what the heck I was doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just...
yeah, stunned.
Yeah.
In a moment of betrayal at the start of the fight, one Jacobin Stainthorpe, Vengeance Paladin of Norn, turned on his party and cast Hold Person on May.
To teach a lesson.
That's right.
To teach her a lesson in
Death.
why you
Dodging.
shouldn't help others, and caused her to die. And we're not talking drop to 0 hit points.
No, we're talking failed 3 death saves, dead.
Actually died and was eaten. Thankfully, the party had a diamond and was able to revive her within the time limit.
Jacobin had a diamond.
Jacobin had a diamend.
But Jacobin couldn't do shit with that diamond.
No.
I didn't have to give it to him.
No, but
I didn't have to tell anybody I had it.
no. But
But I did.
word would have gotten out. Word may still get out.
Oh, word is getting out.
And we'll see how that plays with the crew dynamics. However, we are still in the clearing. The fire has continued to spread throughout the jungle. And Tyron Kai is still in Allosaur form. Seraph has just finished a prayer of healing. Jacobin has walked off back in the direction of the orc village, presumably.
Yeah.
Okay. While the rest of the party kind of recuperates. As you are searching these bodies and carcasses of these great beasts, the beasts start to wither and fade, it seems. And vines and moss begin to creep up and sort of encircle them.
I want to grab a tooth before
Okay.
before they completely get encapsulated.
Give me... I presume you're going to, like, cut it out?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me just a straight-up dexterity check. Because I know you're not proficient in leatherworking tools.
No.
Tyron Kai is. As is Gorm.
8.
8. It takes you some while. You are able to get a tooth. It's not the tooth you were hoping for, because the ones.
Is it still big enough
the
to mount
big-
on my wall at
The big,
home?
well, I mean, any of them are big enough to mount on your wall. But it's instead of being one of the big ones that's like a foot long.
Yeah.
This one's like, 3 inches long.
Okay.
You can still put it on a tiny little plaque and mount it, but
It's not as impressive.
no. It's more of teeth you think that were used to grip and hold onto prey, as opposed to rend and tear flesh. And as these bodies are encompassed by vines and ivy, you notice that there are rings of mushrooms that circle the bodies that begin to sprout. And
Like
they start popping
fairy
up.
rings?
Like pop. They start popping up in a ring around each of the bodies. And it happens to all 3 of the creatures' carcasses.
Like fairy rings around them, or just
They are rings of mushrooms
Knowledge
Rings.
that
nature.
begin to grow
Yeah.
and pop up as the bodies are being...
Yeah. Have I
wrapped in
like
vines.
ever heard of anything like this?
A 5 on my nature check.
No. What are you rolling?
I was gonna do the same, a knowledge nature check to see
Okay.
if I know. There's a freaking nat 20.
Yep.
Uh,
Of course. Convenient.
Yeah, yeah.
Just in time.
Just exactly when I needed it.
I mean, based on natural knowledge,
Yeah.
this is definitely not natural. These are mushrooms that you have never seen before. You also know that vines and ivy don't rapidly grow out of the ground and cover things, so this is all clearly magical in nature.
Arcana check.
Can I try and-
I'm going to religion at the same time.
Modified 20.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's a 6.
You know, this does not appear to be divine in nature. It does not appear to be like an effect of Bacella's,
Okay.
who's the life giver. For Arcana, this would point to some sort of fey magic.
What happens if I try and cut one of the mushrooms?
You cut one of the mushrooms and it sort of withers, and then a new one starts to sprout.
But in
In
my
its
hand,
place.
it completely just withers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before they fade completely, I'll go up and attempt to bite one of the toes of of the dinosaur, and like a dog when you're fighting with it with the rope thing,
The
just trying to
vines-
pull it.
So, give me a strength check, or strength save, rather.
Strength save. Okay.
This is fey magic.
I'm not here.
Oh,
Oh, that's what you're doing.
whiff. 9.
The vines start to grab onto your face and begin to start pulling you in. You are now.
I've made a mistake. I regret everything.
You are now considered. One moment.
Grappled. With the grapple.
I'm trying to find out if it's grappled or restrained.
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 Been restrained.
Grappled.
You are restrained. But with an action, you can make a strength check to try and free yourself. So, however, so you all see this as Tyron Kai goes to like nibble and like grab the foot of one of the beasts that's covered in vines and everything, and when he does so, the vines begin to start wrapping around his snout and everything, and quickly pull him into the circle and begin trying to wrap around him, and he is struggling against it.
I'm gonna take my sunblade and try to slash some of the vines off of his snout.
Okay. So does that mean do you get in the area of that?
No.
Shit. No, I wouldn't because I'm actually not.
Because
I'm not
you guys
close.
see. I mean, these vines are all animating and writhing and everything
We're all way too far around him.
inside the rings. So Tyron Kai,
Shit. No, I wouldn't do that.
give me a strength check.
Okay.
So it's just your Allosaur strength.
16.
Okay, that's enough. You managed to break free, and I presume you back up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Angrily give a disgruntled roar at it.
The vines still continue to twist and look as if they are pressing the bodies into the earth. And it looks like they're sinking. Like they're not getting like compressed or squeezed or squished, but they're actually like sinking. And there's a light that begins to emanate from the fairy rings. That is sort of pinkish at first, and then slowly darkens and darkens and darkens until it's like a very deep purple, and then ultraviolet light that you can only see in the reflections of other things.
Okay.
And then behind, so eventually, and then they completely disappear, and then the vines then untwist themselves, and they reveal there are 3 gems.
Diamond worth 300 gold pieces.
No,
Trats.
no. They are smooth, egg-shaped amber gems. So they're translucent, but they're shaped like eggs. They do not appear to have anything inside, but they're about, we'll say, 10 inches tall, and maybe about 6 inches at their widest.
I pick one up.
And they're all the same size.
I pick one up and just hold it at eye level and just stare at it.
The light filters through it. You also notice when you go to pick it up, there's still that light that's emanating, and your hand, for a moment, falls through the ground. A little unnerving, and then you go to grab you quickly pull it back. As this happens, the light then begins to fade. And the mushrooms then sort of all pop up and then scurry into the jungle.
What the hell?
And they all into the jungle.
Okay.
Does classical music start playing and they start dancing?
Yeah, it's I don't remember the classical piece. But
It's part of the Nutcracker.
yes.
A Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairies.
I don't know if that maybe. But anyway. But yes, they all then scurry off into the woods.
Okay. Not the weirdest
Leaving
thing.
behind these 3 amber stones.
Okay.
Amber gems.
I'm going to pick up one and examine it now that the strangeness appears to have left.
And I'm going to pick up the 3rd.
Yep. They are completely smooth. No blemishes or nicks or anything in them.
Solid stone.
Because it's amber, it's not quite stone, but
Yes, or solid material, I should say.
yeah, solid material. But you're able to see light pass through it,
Okay.
so it has a translucent quality to it.
I just take it up and put it in my bag.
May, you would estimate that these gems themselves, amber's not really a valuable
Yeah.
stone type, but because of the size of them, you could probably get about 200 gold apiece for each of these, based on your
My knowledge.
knowledge of appraisals and such.
I'm just going to put it in there as amber egg.
That's fair. And with seeing that, Twixen, you definitely recognize that as Fey magic.
What is the reach of Fey magic usually? Like, are they... Do I suspect that they are somewhere...
Cross-planar
Okay, cool.
is the realm of Fey is a kingdom that overlaps the known world.
Okay.
And there are
So there-
many...
So I don't necessarily think that there's, like, Fey, like, nearby.
Unclear.
Okay.
Unclear if those mushrooms are now Fey creatures or not, or what. It's weird.
Fair. Fair.
Fey usually make things weird.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's fair.
So, and then at this point, so the fire has pretty much doubled in size from its initial point, but it seems with the humidity in the air and just the thick overgrowth, it seems to have burnt out all of the dry material in its area,
Okay.
and is now just smoking as it tries to heat up and burn the living material around it, but it is not having an easy time doing so.
Yeah, do we have a way to stop this? Dino?
When he on dinos,
Yeah, but that could be a while. Couldn't
Tyron
it?
Kai doesn't seem very concerned with the fire. He's kind of looking at the edge of this clearing and kind of just looking out and rather enjoying being large.
Okay. All right.
I start walking back towards the orc village.
I follow Twixen.
that seems to be the smarter idea at this point.
Okay.
Oh, also, didn't they say that it's the rainy season right now, right?
Yep.
It'll be fine.
So it'll
It rains
It
twice
rains
a day.
twice
it rains
a day.
twice a day. It'll be fine. Okay. Okay. We're good. We're good. Just
And on your way back, as it'll take you, a couple hours to get back to the village. It does. There is a light shower that passes through. So you'd imagine that the rain would have been put out by that, or the fire would have been put out by that. The rain would have been put out by the rain. So yes, Jacobin, you make it back to the village before the rest. of
Pass
your-
right through, keeps going.
Okay.
No.
So yeah, just give me a survival check, because I presume you're just headed back to the beach. Yeah, just give me a survival check.
A fumble road.
Ooh.
Oh, so you're gonna be wandering in the woods forever? That's
he
That's
gets
fine.
lost in the woods.
We'll get back to you.
Yes.
So, the rest of you make it back to the village.
If we've made it all the way back to the village, as we draw near, that's when I drop the form, because we were just sent out to hunt these things. I don't need to horrify a group,
You
the
don't
poor
need
group
to
of
look
orcs.
like one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
So you actually come across another hunting party as you
Is this
just
while
get
I'm
w-
still in form?
just it is, and they are simply you hear talk in a language I don't believe any of you speak. No, but it seems to be not like shouting, but just like disbelief. And then when they see that it back into the form of a lizard folk, even more incredulous gesticulations and everything that you can see, and they come up and realize that you're all sort of outsiders.
That should have been our party name, Incredulous Gesticulation.
That should be the DM's name. That is. You were just a beast, but
Yeah, he does that every once in a while.
amazing. Have you always had this power?
No, I have not. This is new for me, but we have traveled far and slain many foes to come to this place. There are many things I can do you would not understand.
Speaking of slaying many foes, I believe you'll find that if the creatures following you numbered 3, we've dealt with all of them.
They all look very dejected. I see.
Sorry.
I pull out the gem.
Ah,
They dropped this.
I see.
Loot drop.
Well, looks like you all had a successful hunt then.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
congratulations.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah. We
And they walk with you back to the village where the chief sort of is there, and a number of hunting parties have all come back at this point. Well, how did everyone fare today?
I found this.
Did you see the other from our party? Come through
Oh,
here?
the surly one.
Yeah, that one.
We did. He passed through here quite some time ago.
Okay.
Seemed to be intent on I would presume heading back to your ship.
Well,
Seemed to just
considering
walk right through the village. He didn't say a word to anyone.
Yeah, well, considering he tried to murder me, that would probably be a reason for him just
see.
to leave.
Ah. Well, Tagra has prepared the potion that your lizardkin friend has requested. So you might wish to go do that.
Yeah.
But may I see the is that a stone or this is all that is left of them?
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Fascinating.
Perhaps some mushrooms.
Oh, wait, you did get a tooth though, right?
Yes, I did, and I'm gonna pull out the tooth of it. This is a small tooth
Yeah.
compared to what
Yes.
else was in their mouth, but it is a tooth of theirs nonetheless. Unfortunately,
Yes, I can see that.
we weren't able to salvage any more of the bodies
They
because
turned into mushrooms and ran into the woods.
yeah, that.
Let's see.
Yeah.
It just hands the stone back to you.
Put it in Jean-Francois.
Just in the square containers of giant
what
egg.
is
He's like,
this?
You hear, Tyrankai, it is very cramped in here. Oh no, I cannot move very well.
oh, the poor
So many,
lizard.
so little space.
And there's only like 10, 12 things in there. It's fine.
You
With
seriously
every
are like
step, they rattle and readjust and.
he's seriously just like
Francois's getting
Bender. He just
shaken
holds
around.
everything.
Yeah. As promised, you get to keep the spoils. Thank you for joining in the hunt with us.
I just hope that this can lead to some peace for your people.
Assuredly it can. But if you said they turned into mushrooms,
Well, kind of. I mean, like, so
With legs.
they
and
had,
ran into the woods.
but like they
the
had these.
bodies just turned into mushrooms and
Well, it was weird because the vines started to eat the bodies, and then the mushrooms started to pop up around the bodies. And once the bodies were gone into the ground, then the mushrooms popped up and ran away.
I see.
I don't know. He says it's some sort of fey magic.
Perfectly expected.
We'll
I mean, yeah.
consult Tagra
Like you do.
with this.
Yeah,
So
unfortunately.
please come with me.
Yeah.
And he leads you into the hut that you were before, the main hall. And Tagra's there. She has some pillows set out with a small cauldron set up in the middle with some sort of bubbling brew. And she's sitting at the top of this circle of pillows, with her staff. I see that you have returned.
Yes.
Did you have a fun, event-filled afternoon?
I found this.
Fun is not what we would call it.
No.
I see. The chief relays to her the events of what you told him. She says, "This is fey magic at work.
Yeah, yeah.
I have consulted with these spirits before.
You've dealt with the mushroom people before?
And those are not fey spirits. That is fey magic acting upon
Oh,
the
okay.
landscape.
Does this happen often?
It is not, or should not, rather, but of late it seems to be growing.
Can I just say, I think it's hilarious that May, the Wood Elf, has no idea about anything Fae.
No.
She legit has no idea.
May
No, well,
no
you
fey.
did not grow up in Lilinosti.
May
I
no
did
fey.
not.
So.
So it's great. This is great.
The mushrooms are growing? They
The-
did spring up quickly.
Influence of fey magic. It is somewhat concerning. The fey are dangerous and difficult to deal with. But if these were fey creatures, which it sounds like, then you have done us a favor. A much greater favor than we have known. So, for this, we will conduct this ritual for you without cost. So please sit down. Sit down.
Cool.
I noticed you are missing one person. Let's see.
Yes.
Where did he go?
The traitorous bastard went I don't know where, and he can go rot for all I care.
Oh, I see. There is some sort of problem. Would you care to tell me?
Just a little.
What happened?
He tried to kill me.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a slight bit more complex.
To be more specific, he tried to arrange it so that a dinosaur would kill her.
I see.
It's also more complex than that. Jacobin is trying, and I emphasize the trying, to impart wisdom upon our young elven friend. His methods are
Dangerous.
highly unorthodox.
What wisdom can she learn by being eaten by a dinosaur?
That.
He spoiled our victory.
Apparently, how to dodge. I don't agree with the fact that it's a good lesson. I'm just.
It would seem that in order to impart wisdom, one must have wisdom to impart, and
I like you.
directly putting someone in harm's path is not a wise decision.
I like her.
But
But thankfully,
we'll see. If he is not with you, then let us hope that he is with someone traveling through the wildlands, because that is not a trip to be taken lightly. Now, quickly, before the brew spoils, we must conduct this ritual.
yes.
Yes.
Are any of you wishing to participate with your lizardkin friend?
How could I help?
Well, it's simply if you want to see what he sees or not. That's all.
Yes.
About to go on a spirit journey. She's asking, "You want to get high?"
Yeah!
Would you like to come along on a magical trip?
Absolutely,
Yes.
I love magical trips.
You will forgive me for taking my leave at this stage.
Oh, it's quite all right.
We're going on a trip on our favorite rocket ship.
All you have to simply, you can just be sure to watch over us to make sure, we
He's
don't,
our trip
we
sitter.
don't stop breathing or anything. There may be some adverse effects to
He's
the
our
brew.
trip sitter.
So, yeah, now. And she takes out a ladle and ladles it into mugs.
Yes.
And hands one to Tyre and Kai, hands one to May, hands one to Twixen.
What
Are
is
you capable of drinking?
it? Yes.
You do not seem to have any components of water elementals, so I don't know if. Can you?
We will find out together.
I suppose so.
Run acidtrip.exe.
And then pours a small mug for herself.
I guess that would just be a screensaver for you, though.
It kind of would.
If there's going to be four of us, we must properly orient ourselves. So you sit here, and you, dear, you sit here because you're the most important person for this vision. You sit here, and so you all sit basically at compass points, at cardinal directions. And you all drink.
Is this technically considered a poison?
No.
Okay, we're good.
Okay.
It is considered like a potion effect.
Okay.
So, if you choose to, you can benefit from the effects.
Okay.
Twixen.
I will do so.
Okay. And then what happens is, you all get very drowsy, and then you fall asleep, the four of you. When you open your eyes, is you are all in a swamp. Unfamiliar to the three of you, but not to Tyre and Kai.
Where are we?
You say that, but your voice is like echoey and hollow.
Ma.
Almost like a thought. And the four of you can hear it.
Sound weird.
It's like you're all sharing like the same sort of thought space.
Hive mind.
A little bit. You're all still individuals, though.
Yeah.
You look around. So for everybody but Tyron Kai, is you are just viewing.
Okay.
And so you're just sort of, it's as if you were viewing sort of like a first person view up close, so that like you can't, like if you were viewing somebody else playing a VR game in first person view,
Okay.
right? So you're seeing what they see when they see it, and you don't really have any actions of your own or whatever, but you can just view and
Okay.
yeah. Tyron Kai is, you're in charge of this bus. So to speak.
Nice.
You are the driver of this bus.
You're Miss Frizzle.
We are literally just along for the
Let's
ride.
take chances. Make mistakes.
Get messy.
So
Liz.
the view that you have
Love it.
is you are standing about 15 feet tall.
Not too different from earlier.
Not too different. Taller than that. And rather than like bipedal but long, bipedal and tall.
I'm feeling wistful. It's been a long time since I've seen a swamp, especially one that's this familiar.
You reckon it's your swamp.
Is it a swamp or is it a bog?
It's more of a
Mangrove swamp.
yeah, it's
Okay.
you know, brackish water butts up against the coast.
Does your waist get wet or do your ankles get wet?
Your everything gets wet if you step in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Swamp it is. Okay.
Typically waist high.
Swamp it is.
Yeah. Lizard folk unperturbed by the water.
I like it.
But yes, so wading through this swamp, not a problem at all as it comes up to your
Not much.
Your ankles?
your knees.
So it's a bog for you.
your knees. So you are still technically wading, but
You know the difference.
as you look around, you see your hands, great large clawed hands with lustrous black scales. And an unusual sensation, and sort of all of you get this sensation, and you all see sort of the arms come out and they're black scales on clawed arms. This unusual sensation of 2 extra limbs from the back that are large, leathery wings.
I'm a dragon.
Do we feel that?
You feel it. It's really weird. Because you're not used to having an extra set of limbs.
I'm used to having wings.
And, you know, sort of, well, so you feel that. What do you do?
Oh, we're trying these bad boys out. Flare them wide and attempt to take off.
Okay. You do that, and you lift off from the water. You see there is a long, sinewy tail with a scythe-like stinger on the end of it, and large, muscular legs with 2 clawed toes on the feet, with 2 claws with 2 toes coming back as well. So almost like,
Like an owl, 2 in front, 2 in back.
yes. And you take flight, and you're flying over the mangroves and cypress through the swamp.
So we're experiencing him.
You're experiencing flight. And you hearing,
kind of like that.
True flight, not magically induced.
with large leathery wing beats.
The deep, heavy heartbeat pulse of wing beats.
And you
Ah,
feel, what you feel is an intense, overwhelming desire for treasure.
Oh, so I
Gold,
feel normal.
silver,
So nothing different.
magic items,
Oh, you're still
artifacts, pieces of art, whatever these lesser insects value. You want it, and you want to keep it from them. And you want to lord it over them. Because
it's
then-
mine by right.
because it's yours by right, and then because they will want it. And them wanting it gives you power. So you begin circling. Not really sure where to look. This swamp was never a good location for this stuff. There aren't very many smaller specks of life inhabiting this area. So you break out over the shore. And in the distance you see a ship. It must be full of these little creatures. What do you do?
Oh, we're preparing for a flyby.
Okay.
Take a wide circle out over the shore and start to head out towards the boat at an angle.
Sorry, Ghost Rider, but the pattern's full.
Give me a d20 roll. Give me a perception check
Ooh, okay.
using your stats.
That's a 21.
Okay.
Pretty good.
As you're flying down and going over the surface of the water, you're seeing, and you're all seeing this, the reflection in the waves. And it's not a perfect reflection because it's the ocean and there's currents and everything on waves, but the overall reflection, and you're seeing it's a largely humanoid form, sort of long, scaled arms that go almost down to the knees,
Oh, wow.
and this long, sinewy tail with the blade at the end.
D. It's the other D. It's the other, sorry.
And big wings, big leathery wings that are scaled but are more bat-like than bird-like, and a very thick, squat neck with a head unlike anything you've ever seen before. It has reptilian features, but also amphibian features. So it's almost like a frog's head, but with the skin around the mouth and the eye sockets pulled so tight that it looks like it's in like a grimace, like a grinning grimace.
So it's the Joker in frog form.
A little bit. And the eyes are sort of pulled so that they look like big hollowed eye sockets, but with bulging eyes in there.
Whoa.
and then with 2 horns that come and they spiral back and then out.
Oh, wow.
And a row of spines that stick up and run back along the body.
This looks powerful.
And the whole form covered in these black scales.
I dig this.
And with the grin, so this head's maybe a good 5 feet across. So it's a big, wide frog-like head with these horns and spines and everything.
Yeah.
But the teeth, big, massive teeth, pointed teeth. And you all recognize it as kind of the tooth that Tyron Kai wears often around his neck.
Mm-hmm.
So you see this on your way toward the ship. What is your first instinct when you get to the ship? Flying over it.
As I begin to pass over it, I feel my chest puff up and a deep inhalation and a terrible feeling in the pit of my gut as if I'm about to vomit. And with a horrible, deep, gurgling, retching noise, blast out a stream of just the vilest green liquid you have ever seen. And I hose down the deck as I fly over it.
So,
Acid?
you see this happen. It's acidic, but it's also sticky. So it's almost like ooze, like caustic ooze, that is retched in a stream across
That's lovely.
this deck. And you see there are smaller, insignificant creatures on the deck of this ship, scurrying about their pathetic lives. But they presumably have what you want. And as they see your form, they begin to scurry and try and take defensive positions. But you cover most of the deck, and you hit some of these creatures with this goo. And as it makes contact with them, it eats away at their flesh and bones, reducing them just into a pile of goo.
Goo. Goo, goo, and more goo.
What next?
Circle wide around, come, and just land on the deck. This tiny wooden construct means nothing to me. I can pick what I want off the sea floor.
The goo seems to start eating through the deck of the ship itself. And it does so sort of peeling off the top layer of the deck before it sort of becomes brittle and then like breaks apart. There's more creatures scurrying underneath, and they're now running and jumping off of the ship in an attempt to get out away from you. This was not a very large ship, so after the top deck, that appears to be a cargo hold underneath.
Can I see anything in the cargo hold?
Yeah, what's in the hold?
Yeah, you can see there are all manner of chests and crates and barrels full of whatever. It doesn't matter.
I want it all.
I want
So you-
it all.
You see these big clawed hands pick up these barrels, and without any consequences to what's in them, eat them. Just like open the massive gullet and then just swallow them whole until the form is become big and distended and grotesque, full of all these crates and barrels and treasures.
So like a chipmunk's cheeks, but in the tummy?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
just as you are finishing up, there is a noise that is like the cracking of thunder. And the head looks up, and you start to see the skies darken. And there are more cracks of thunder. Go to take off. Your wings alight, and though laden with all this treasure, you are unhampered by it. And you try and fly through this storm, but the lightning becomes too much. You hear a voice in between the lightning. Deep, powerful voice. You should have stayed hidden, foul creature. It's time to send you back from whence you came. And this time you are struck. You feel searing electrical pain throughout your body. And then you hear a whistling behind you. And the head turns, and you see the lightning has coursed through you, and then in a circle opened a gate. Behind the gate is a realm of darkness and muck. Like the swamp, but the worst aspects of the swamp. Like the swamp without light, without heat, without life. It's just a realm of rot. You hear whistling of wind behind you, as if when this opened up, there was no air there.
As if Hal opened the pod bay doors.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was figuring.
And you are sucked in. And you hear another crackling of thunder. And the energy dissipates. And it is dark.
What the?
Seraph, at this point, they all start kind of convulsing. And you hear... yeah. It's in a language that you've heard before, but you don't understand. It's a very harsh language. And they're all speaking it, and they're all speaking the same words. And as they're convulsing, they're speaking in this language. And they're all saying the same thing. At this point, the chief is thoroughly freaked out by this and begins like poking everybody with the staff. You all feel this like sharp pain in like your back and your side, and suddenly you all wake up. And you realize that the chieftain has like been hitting you with his spear.
I'm the judge.
And they all wake up. And the moment they like sputter and shudder awake, like that it all stops.
Goosebumps. Whoa.
Well, that was certainly enlightening
Yeah.
and terrifying.
Yeah.
You need to watch yourself.
Yeah.
Do any of you know what you were saying?
They were saying something?
What were we saying?
I don't know. It was clearly a language, and it's something I've heard before, but it's not something I understand.
Can you recite it?
I mean, you can recite the gist of it, but but it's. I mean, it's nothing.
So
No, it's
Cue Def Leppard.
not something that any of you recognize.
None of us, huh?
None of you.
Really?
wow. I mean,
Well, unless right off the bat, but the more you think on it, anybody can make an intelligence check to kind of
yeah. I'm gonna.
figure out what it might be.
18.
Still, you recognize, you've heard it before, but you still can't quite place it.
Whatever. It's not gonna
Yeah,
cost
I
me.
got
Then
a
I'll roll
16.
it.
If you got an 18,
I was about to
and
say 18 gives you that.
7.
15.
Woof.
yeah, that's what we got. You're our best.
However, with an 18, what that does give you is you do recall that there are party members that have magic,
Yeah,
say, comprehend languages,
Edwin could do that.
or.
Or this one.
But yes, Edwin also has
Wait.
comprehend languages.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll comprehend.
Drat!
Oh, you cast it on
No, it's self. Sorry.
itself.
But
Okay.
Yes, comprehend languages.
Okay.
Forgot I could do that. I have tongues. I just forgot that I have it.
Oh, you have tongues.
I also have
do.
tongues.
Okay.
Player forgot that he has the spell. This
Okay.
character forget that he has the spell?
We'll say no, because DM also didn't realize you had that spell. So we'll say, so Twixen, you don't have, unless you want Twixen to use comprehend languages. We'll say that you also
I
know.
was about to say I'm.
We'll say with an
okay
18, you also know, oh, I have magic that can let me, figure this out. So yeah, I will say if you cast tongues, you recognize it as infernal.
Tight.
I was going to guess abyssal, but
Which,
I think it's
well,
I was
technically
good.
the same
So,
thing.
so this is a little bit of meta knowledge,
No,
but
so I
in
would've
this
known it.
in this setting, is there is no clear distinction between devils and demons, which is a little different than standard D&D lore.
So the hells are the hells and the abyss are the same thing. Basically.
Pretty much. So it's infernal and abyssal are more like dialects of each other than totally separate
Separate
languages.
languages.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hell speak.
Yeah. But yeah, you recognize it as
And the words?
the words come out to. It doesn't translate well to common, but
Okay.
the words themselves translate into various forms of. And it's the same 4 words repeated. Collect, consume, pilfer, take.
I relay this to the party.
Tyrankai can't hide the wry smile he has on his face as he's fingering the long, the long tooth necklace he has.
So you said to collect, consume, pilfer, and take? That's what we were all saying.
There doesn't seem to be an exact one-to-one translation.
Ah, of course. Well, all right.
Okay.
That is very unusual. Well, I think I'd better go lie down. I'm going to process this information. Please, if there's anything that you all need, see the chieftain. And she turns to the chieftain. I am going to process this. And she gets up. Just very slowly walks out, a little dazed. Just walks out of the tent. And you see there's like 2 other orcs that come and attend to her and bring her elsewhere. Well, did that give you the answers you need?
Did it?
Power without restraint is foolishness. Boundless greed is of ice. But such power is exhilarating.
Yeah, it felt pretty damn good.
Well, is there anything else I can do for you? Did you say you needed supplies?
Yeah. Yeah. Food.
Fresh foodstuffs mostly.
Yeah.
We can provide that.
We have a decent amount of
Meat.
long-term food stores, but our fresh stores are pretty much drained at this stage.
Ah, well, we have plenty of that. We can provide you with fruits, vegetables, meat. Anything else?
No, I think we're good. I don't think we need any hides. I've already gotten my medicine components.
All right. What else do you have available to trade for the food?
We have trade goods back at our ship. The 3 of us also have those unusual stones if they find value to your tribe.
Yeah.
Well, we would find a use for them. We are able to make use of amber. I mean, they may be imbued with some kind of fey magic, if I heard right, so
Yeah. Yeah.
we can make use of that.
Yeah, so I say we got 3 of them. So.
And did, your friend wanted that axe for something. And we saw him kind of test it out on some trees. If you're in need of wood, we can provide that too.
Yeah. We are in need of some in case our ship needs further repairs at any point.
So as we discuss this,
Yep.
I'm going to use persuasion,
Okay.
which I think is appropriate,
Yeah.
to try and negotiate the best value per stones for this one.
Sure.
It's not a great roll, but it's also not terrible. 16.
Yeah. With that roll, for 1 stone, is they will essentially give you a week's worth of sort of fresh food. Mm-hmm. They'll give you access to a source of fresh water.
Okay.
And basically enough wood to help with the repairs.
Okay.
You're not quite sure how the wood is going to interact with the ship itself.
Yeah, but it's
But,
always
you know,
good
if
to
you were to
help.
just do standard, like, oh, I'm going to take this board and I'm going to nail it in, it would be enough to do
Yeah.
like patch jobs. That would suffice.
Yeah, I mean, because
You're not sure if when
The
you
ship-
do that, if it's going to like integrate with the ship or something like everything else has, but
we'll figure it out. But
Yeah.
in case we mess stuff up.
yeah.
I will give them my stone.
Yep.
Okay. So you do that. That takes, you know, the better part of like an hour of amassing everything or whatever. And
So we're all giving them our egg? We're giving them all
just
our
1
eggs?
stone.
Just
No,
one?
I-
Just 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Basically, the negotiating got you basically like a whole bunch of extra wood and food in exchange for it. It was really only ever one stone on the table that they were asking for.
Yeah.
But it basically allowed you to get a little bit more out of the deal.
Perfect.
When you give that,
Trying to focus on the fact that, we're the heroes of the hunt and
Yeah.
they're not being chased anymore.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
They don't have to keep moving.
There's additional value to the efforts that we made. There's value to the fact that May died.
Yeah. There's value in my life? No way.
Not everyone thinks.
Plus the fact is kind of like, did you see what they freaking did to those things? Give them what they want. Get them out of here.
Yeah.
we don't need that kind of that kind of thing lying around here. Thank you.
So, at this point, you take all the stuff, and they actually provide you with some stuff to carry all the stuff back to the beach to get it on the ship.
The little triangle skid thing.
A couple of the beasts, which
I would imagine that they would basically be like bringing us to the ship, like at least.
yeah, they're bringing you like two beasts with like carts
Yeah.
full
And
of the
they want
stuff.
their beasts back, so they probably
Yeah.
come in with us.
Yeah.
So you make it back to the beach, and as you're loading this stuff onto the ship, at this point, Jacobin clambers his way out. You are covered in bites and burns from all manner of toxic plants and insects that you have just run through. So sort of like tropical versions of like poison sumac that you just like ran through.
Oh man, that's gonna hurt.
So equivalent to 2 levels of exhaustion.
Okay.
That must have really hurt.
Yowie.
Yeah.
I'm a paladin.
In terms of
a
game
long kind of
mechanics,
pain,
it's superficial pain.
Yeah.
But also to note, not diseases,
Ah.
since I believe you are immune to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So mostly
So no
topical
stranglethorn
reactions
fever,
to things.
Fine.
That's good to know that he's also immune to diseases.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Oh no.
You probably don't know that though. May
No,
probably
I
doesn't know
wouldn't.
that.
I don't know. Testing may be required.
Yes.
Testing may be planned
Yeah.
after that.
So yes.
Yeah.
So you come out of here, and you see that your compatriots have not only made it back to the beach before you, but they are loading all sorts of goods onto the ships.
Dude, we had time to have an acid trip and get shit, and you still were going around in there. That's awesome.
Has there been enough time as the ship is being loaded for May to have told everyone on the ship what happened?
Oh yeah, I'd like to role play that out actually.
Because this
May?
is
Yeah.
High or low?
Hi.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
She has had enough time. Well, it didn't take much. So we'll say you basically, as soon as you got on ship, you just started screaming.
Yeah. No. Jacobin tried to kill me. He literally tried to murder me.
Which draws basically the other 10 members of the crew.
Yeah. Yeah. He literally tried to murder me.
Keep saying this word literal. I don't think you know what it means.
Inconceivable.
Yeah. We were.
And I'm trying to provide context.
While she just continues to scream louder over you.
Yeah, no, it's like he was trying to, like, we were fighting these dinosaur things, and, like, I was all ready, and then, like, Jacobin put the spell on me, and I couldn't move, and the next thing I know, like, he's telling me to dodge while I can't move, and then I get eaten by a dinosaur that was literally right in front of me already that I was ready to hit.
It was not right.
And
in
he
front of you.
didn't.
It was a lesson, like all of Jacobin's lessons.
He
So,
tried to
and,
get, he,
and it went horribly wrong.
the next thing I know,
I just swim out to the ship. on my own time.
I'm
So-
not
I
sure
pull up
what
my
you're
hood and swim
complaining
out.
about. I
Tyron
enjoyed
Kai and
that
Twixen,
battle. Fiercely.
what are you doing while this sort of
Well, I am
shouting
literally
and-
telling everybody.
shouting versus context providing is happening?
I am organizing the stuff we just brought on board.
Okay, Tyron Kai.
Tyron Kaiser is deep in thought, but he's got the reptilian equivalent of grinning from ear to ear, and he's still holding on to the tooth necklace.
Okay.
He's kind of on,
He's
he's
just
kind of,
stroking it.
he's kind of on deck watching all of this unfold, and he's immensely pleased by all of it.
So Twixen is in charge of making sure everything's loaded. He's having contact high giggles.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if it's contact high.
No, it's straight up high.
She's screaming murder in a crowded theater.
She's
Yep.
literally screaming bloody murder.
I literally.
Literally.
Yes.
And I'm trying to calm everybody down.
So here's what we're gonna do:
It's kind of like a raid.
is
Tell me when I get there.
well, so May and Seraph.
Yeah.
Give me. It's gonna be opposed persuasion rolls.
Okay,
Seraph, you're gonna have disadvantage
that's fine.
Because she's
since
very
the
loud.
rest of the crew, like you've been together for like a week and a half on
But
the
again,
ship or
like,
whatever, but like
Wilhelm and
they
Kramer.
have a lot more history with May, and she doesn't wear a creepy mask all the time.
And furthermore, they're all familiar with Jacobin, so they kind of know.
Yeah.
They're inclined to believe.
Oh, that's an owie.
Womp womp.
Yeah, 14.
What was I rolling?
Persuasion.
Persuasion. Okay, that went really, really, really well.
Is it higher than 14?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all that's relevant.
My other dice was an 18, and that would have been a 25,
Yeah.
but disadvantaged.
What was yours, Courtney?
Modified 20.
Modified 20. Okay.
Yeah.
So, so you are providing context, kind of a thing, and you are explaining. Yeah, it's a lesson from Jacobin and everything, and everybody goes, "Oh,
Oh,
I see.
right.
As soon as he says
We
that,
know
I'm
about
sure
this.
everybody knows. Yeah.
We are aware of this."
They all get that same look of,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
But it seems, at least for the moment, is May has sort of won the crew
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
At this point, Jacobin, you now sort of
So,
crawl up and
here's what
clamber on
happens.
deck. Everybody's
First thing
assembled.
that happens is my hammer comes up over the side onto the deck. And then I crawl up the side. You see one hand grab the rail, and the other, I pull myself up, dripping, burned, looking just terrible overall. I pull off my hood, grab my hammer. I just walk by all of them. Straight to my room.
Oh, revenge is a dish best served cold.
Sevelios, your quartermaster, steps forward and says,
Yeah.
That's just cold."
Yeah, that's pretty much him. But I genuinely thought that coming on this trip, and even before then, like, there was, I thought, a real person under there. And his lessons and everything else were just him trying to be honest, like, I know I'm stupid sometimes. I know I do stupid stuff sometimes. But him doing that to me was completely uncalled for. And I thought there was a soul in there, but it is obvious that he is not worth any semblance of whatever deity he apparently. No. He does not deserve
Enough.
anything.
He may have made the most epic blunder that he has made as our captain. But I will point out that not only did he give over riches to save your life, something that he is very seldom willing to do, and something if you were in his place you would never have done. But he then provided you his greatest treasure, which he has healed half of the crew with.
Which he never would have had to do if he hadn't done it.
Yeah, exactly, which he never would have had to do if he hadn't cast a spell on me and then gotten me killed. I understand you're saying, yes, that's some sort of redeeming aspect, but if he hadn't done this selfish, inconceivable action in the first place, it never would have had to have happened. His idiotic and shallow foresight into this situation is what got us here. And I swear, I thought that there was something there, and it's clear he is nothing.
Enough!
Oh, are you using thaumaturgy?
I use thaumaturgy,
Yeah.
and my eyes glow gold, and giant angelic wings burst from my shoulders.
Oh, shit.
I understand your anger. I share it. But I will not see you condemn one of my people for his foolishness. Enough! And the wings fold back, the eyes stop glowing, and I turn around and go to my room.
10 out of 10 for roleplay, but for future reference, I can now not hear out of that ear. Sorry.
At this point, the rest of the crew just sort of stands there, silent. They're not quite sure. For the first time in this voyage, they don't know what to do. As it seems, there is all sorts of conflict until Sevelios. Well, now, the way I see it is there's gonna be something's gonna have to happen. 'Cause a crew that cannot stand together sinks. Because, you know, they can't fit on the same raft or boat or whatever.
They can't fit on the same door.
You got to stand together. It's quite literal, really. And if this is how this crew is going to be,
They're going to maroon us on an island.
They're going to maroon some of us on an island.
you can just count us out. I'd rather be ferrying the lot of us across the bungholes of Dremonot in a cart, waving around a flag, than on a ship with a crew that cannot stand together. Now, my recommendation is, just speaking to the three of you that are left. Oh, Gorm is also just confused as shit.
Eating an orange.
He was helping lift things, and now it's
he
like,
came up like eating
he
an
just,
orange, and
he just goes and like, as you guys like head into your cabins or whatever, he's just like tries to hand you fruit.
people fruit.
Whether you take it or not is up to you.
How much of this can I hear from below decks?
I would imagine you would have heard him.
Well, as you were bringing stuff on, you were able to hear, because like you were constantly going up and down below deck, so you were catching pieces of this and everything. I'm gonna say that you were below deck and you hear Seraph like crystal clear.
Okay.
Nice use of thaumaturgy,
So-
by the way.
After he's done, I grab like a cask of ale or something stronger if we have it. And I'm assuming
There
he's
is
in the middle
We
of
have rum.
Sevelios' thing, and I bring it up and I go, "Rum for everybody."
I think appreciated, Twixen, Master Twixen. But
So did you bring up bottles, like multiple bottles?
Yes.
Yeah, May just grabs a
And
bottle and goes to her room. She's not having any more of this tonight.
Jemmora, I don't know.
I put my hand on his shoulder. We will figure it out. This is between us. It will be resolved by morning.
By morning.
At this
Oh,
point,
I'm so.
And at this point, Jemmora just goes, "This is quite a pickle." And he turns and starts just.
I'm
bringing
sorry,
his
I
cask
totally
somewhere.
see Twixen at this point going, no, this is a pickle. What you have described is a problem that will be dealt with by morning.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Korev is sitting up in the gunner's seat, in the main gunner's seat. He just kind of gives a huff.
Tyron Kais kind of throws up his brow ridges at the scene from Twix and almost as if on wavelength starts to cackle to himself. I had an idea, but if Twixen's gonna do it, by all means. That's even better.
It's even more entertaining.
The rest of the crew, except for Kramer and Wilhelm, kind of just silently make their way back to their own quarters. And they just kind of slump down on the main deck. Wilhelm's like, "Kramer, what are we doing here? What? I thought we would find glory and adventure, but
To be fair, we found adventure.
I do not know." Kramer says, "Indeed, friend. Rest assured, if I have to beat some sense back into each and every one of their heads, I am going to do it."
And he totally would.
Totally would.
And with that, that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
I just wanted to say, May is totally just drinking and ugly crying in her room right now.
Meloria is
When
kind of
Meloria-
ugly crying with you.
Yeah, when Meloria came into the room, I actually gave her the Ring of Regeneration to give back to Jacobin because I don't want anything to do with him. And she can choose when to give that back to him
The party's in
when
trouble.
she decides.
We'll discuss what happens with that next time,
Yeah,
and we'll start with that
cool,
interaction.
cool.
So yes, thank you for watching with us, dear listeners. We'll be back with this stream in 2 weeks. Yeah, so it'll be a little
Jacobin waits on deck for everybody who wants to start something with him.
it'll be a
And
little
we'll
bit
take
of
challengers one at a time.
a shorter session that week, but yeah. So if you want more information on Tales of Jemmora, you can head on over to jemmora.com, Jemmora.com. If you want to find out more information about 8-Bit Adventures and the channel that hosts this, head on over to 8bitadventures.com. Make sure to use the number 8-bitadventures.com. Still working out the domain stuff for that. Over there, you can find all the social media links for stuff like this, links to all the shows, as well as related artwork and all that good stuff. So with that, everyone, have fun, happy gaming, enjoy your pie cake, and for Norn's sake, just treat your
along.
teammates nice.
Everyone just get
Or else,
along.
just like chill, man.
Bye, everybody.
So good night, everybody.
See you later.